All right, so at this point, I would like Master Tenless to roll an investigation since you are part of the cloaks and now in the wait a minute. Even better. Hold on. I want you guys to, all three of you, to roll. What is in this? I forget what's in the skills as far as like. It's not skullduggery. It's you're trying not to be noticed that you're in the cloaks.
Deception.
Deception,
Right.
I think. Deception is going to be a social thing.
Okay, now here's the thing. Before we roll deception, I'm going to have Master Tenless roll to see if he can find out why there's tension between the cloaks and Mr. Saj.
Well, I'm not the most charismatic person in the world, but I'm pretty smart. I'd like to make a roll, too.
Absolutely you can. Just tell me what y'all get.
That would give Perry a 26.
Excellent.
Would there be any extra information because of my position that might give me advantage?
Yeah, well, let's go over the positions real quick. You are being hired on as a master of ceremonies type. So, Sean, what's your character's name?
Merrick.
Merrick, you have been hired as one of the guards for the front door. You're not necessarily keeping out the riffraff since everyone's invited, but when you're kind of there to notice, okay, this guy's a beggar, we're not really going to announce him. This guy's a noble, we have to announce him. But you don't announce him, you pass that information on to court, who then announces to the audience, as it may,
Yeah.
this is Mr. and Mrs. Douchebag, and this is Mr. and Mrs. Sandwich. Lord and Lady, if you will.
Would that be the Earl of Sandwich?
Right, that would be the Earl of Sandwich. So, only a few people are going to get this joke, man, so.
I'd rather it be Kaiser, but
In turn, Perry Blotter has been Court Tenless's assistant, as it were. Perry actually has underlings that whenever a noble does come in, he kind of snaps his fingers and a person comes over and says, hey, Perry says, hey, this guy needs blah, 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 blah. Any information that court has given.
Would you like fries with that?
No. That is not what Perry is doing.
No, and court does not treat Perry that way.
Perry's more directing other servants
Right.
on where to bring wine to this table,
Right.
something to this
Well,
guy.
one thing that I think Perry would be in charge of is definitely making sure that select guests get sat near other select for political
Absolutely.
purposes and stuff.
Absolutely.
I've got a
that's
seat
not
in charge.
court. Yeah, that's not court as much as maybe court and Perry went over that.
Well, your higher-ups have told you, listen,
Right.
we're not setting the lords and ladies next to the bumps.
No, not only did we go over that,
just real quick, as the door guard, quote unquote, why don't I just be noblers are coming in this door, commoners another entrance.
Well, since it's citywide,
No. Everybody's open and everybody gets to come in. But seating arrangements kind of have been placed.
sure.
that's what I was going to say. Not only did I pay attention and figure all this
Right.
out, Harry's the type character. He literally took 3 hours of his day and sat at the bar and scrolled out a perfected-looking
and
seating chart.
and
So Perry's basically walking around with his little ass spectacles and this big ass fucking way too oversized robe almost, trying to be showy, reading the scroll everywhere he goes.
I love Perry already, dude.
Hello?
Alright, so yeah, Perry has basically laid out a detailed, scrolled up. So he's walking around in an oversized robe, holding this scroll and directing everybody where to go because he's got it all charted out and you're not going to confuse him. He knows what he's doing.
Excellent.
And this is exactly why I want to state that I treat Perry, Mr. Blotter, if you will, with respect. Because not only does he make my job easier, right?
Anal as hell.
He's willing to go the extra mile, just like he did.
So now, do you want to go off of Mr. Blotter's investigation, or do you want to make your own investigation?
Well, Mr. Blotter goofy as he is definitely going to make his way while he's going to escort the most important, or the people of interest that
Well-
court kind of has pointed out. Like,
Well, I get an envelope or something,
Right.
like an invite.
Right.
You know.
I'm gonna just retcon for a minute on this investigation roll and the deception rolls, because there's a little tension between the cloaks and the Saj house.
Sure.
So, do you want to just go off of what Mr. Blotter did, and then he can relay the information to you guys?
I'm going to try to get in with the house guards. Converse with them.
Okay.
So if I need to do the deception
Should I
roll,
just-
I rolled a 24.
Investigation.
Okay.
okay,
Nobody knows you're part of the cloaks. You're a ghost.
Deception. Are we rolling deception?
I think
Are we
so.
rolling deception?
Well, I want an investigation roll and a deception roll.
Okay.
Because deception is going to be, you're trying to get hired on with her house, but you also are a part of the cloaks, and there's some tension between the two. The investigation is to figure out what the tension is. So, Merrick has already kind of cloaked himself in the party, in your little party that you're in, because the Saj house does not know, based upon his role, that he's a part of the cloaks. They just think he's a guy chilling. Now, I am actually going to allow that, because he's going to come in and say, hey, I got two other buddies. One of them's a really good talker. One of them's a really good planner. I need you to give him a job. And she's going to be like, absolutely, bring him in.
You're pimping us out.
Absolutely, he is. Now,
Cool.
so we'll go off of your investigation, and you guys can all kind of gather the information your own ways. But I want some role playing to figure out how you get this information.
Sell you on it.
Absolutely.
You have to, man.
So,
you have to.
Merrick is already informed that he is going, since he is, nobody knows he's part of the cloaks, he's going to be like, to the other guards that are in there, he's going to like, hey man, have you guys heard anything? I mean, I hear some rumors, but how much of it's true, you know? And so, he's already sold me on his. What's your guys' intake on this?
Well, Perry's kind of awkward, and he doesn't. He could go and stumble around. He'll definitely say hi to some folks and kind of sit back and listen in around an important table. So I'm going to pull some stuff by hearsay. But he's also going to use his little runners that he's directing everybody around with and seating people, basically having them drop conversation pieces at other tables to see how the interaction goes between the two tables and where they're sitting.
I love you, Mr. Blatter.
Okay, so now, in order to set this up, you guys are actually gaining this information before the party. Okay, so this is actually like trial run where Mr. Saj is coming, okay, I want to see the trial run, how this is going to go. And in the meantime, you're like, hey, if you find out anything about this, make sure you let me know. If anybody says anything that you think's interesting, now, of course, you get some of the things like, oh, the milkmaid's been sleeping with the dog caretaker, and, you know, bullshit stories like that. You don't really care, but you want to find out.
What breed of dogs?
They're hunting hounds.
What breed? I
They
mean,
have
you got to be
all
specific.
kinds. They're Pomeranians.
Pomeranian hunting hounds?
Yep, absolutely. And Chihuahuas. They're crossbreeding them.
With Chihuahuas, or
Yeah.
they're Pomeranian hunting dog
They're-
Chihuahuas?
They're powwows.
Wow.
Barovian mosquito vultures.
Now, did I sell you on my investigation?
Absolutely. Master Tenless, how are you gaining this information?
Well, what Master Tinless is doing is not so much as gaining additional information, is that more so what's going on with Court is that he is, for lack of a better term, because he totally respects his partners, right? But what he's doing is he's pulling the strings correctly to further certain interests, correct? So I want to know if Noble House number 5 is consorting with Noble House number 9, because if they do, then number 9 becomes number 10, and number, whatever can become number 9, and skip
Absolutely.
over those. Like, I'm trying to make sure that I listen for, what is our patron's name? Saja?
Saj. S-A-J.
Saj, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm doing is I explain to her that I will be providing her, or whomever she wants me to provide the information to, the way that the political webs get spun.
So you're not just a master of ceremonies, you're one of her spies.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I have an OCD mage that's doing a lot of the work already, and I have a doorman. So the thing is that if there are any special instructions for specific noble houses, that from special perks, if you will, directly from Lady Saj, I will know because I will have that Merrick informed. Hey guys, we know that you have a problem with Noble House number 2. Okay, we're not happy with number 2, and Mistress Saj says that you can carry your daggers in. Like that kind of stuff. Like I do the special concierge work, right? But it ties in on all levels here. So I don't control what these two do, but I definitely stay in touch with both of them at all times. Now, I have the message cantrip, plus I have a brochure that has a sending stone in it, and I can give it to someone. I can either give it to one of you, or I can give it to Mistress Saj immediately.
I actually have the message cantrip as well, so we can message back and forth between that if you want to give the brochure of sending over to...
Merrick?
Alright, Merrick will wear it.
Did you catch that, do you?
Yes.
So Merrick the doorman has a brochure. If anything, you know what? That's beautiful, because every time a new house or different people come in, he hits that button on the brochure, that pearl, and he just makes a sending, and the sending comes to me, so I get that info.
And since he's pretty much standing at the door with his arms crossed,
Right.
he'll hit the button, hit it, let him know, and no one will know.
Okay, so what you guys gather through your information, different highways, is that Mr. Saj is trying to get in good with the Kron family.
The Crod family.
Kron.
I do not have extra paper. Is someone taking...
I got it.
Sean, I love you. Good. Thank you.
Now, the Kron family is really where the tension comes in, because they had 2 daughters, one named Binacy and one named Maud. And Maud started to show some magical aptitude, and the Cloaks immediately wanted her to go train with them. And she's just a bullheaded teenager, and she said, absolutely hell no. So, they actually banished her from the city by magical means, but she was just banished to a different town. The problem is that the family wanted to find her, send her to her aunt and uncle in Flan, and that's Phlan.
Sure.
And that way she could still be with family and be safe. Now here's where the big issue comes in, is that before they could find her, she was taken by bandits and killed.
Damn.
And the Kron family blames the Cloaks. So they're trying to literally have sworn an oath that Talos, and has asked the god Talos to destroy the Cloaks.
Which is like the god of storms
It is
and
the god of
tempests
storms.
and
Absolutely.
such, right? Okay, so it's actually the Kron family has it out for the Cloaks. Now, how do the Cloaks feel about the Kron family?
They feel bad that their daughter was killed.
But the blood's not on their hands.
Exactly. It wasn't their problem. All
Right.
she had to do was join.
Right.
That's their standpoint.
She should have conformed to the law.
Absolutely.
To the law of the city, or done exactly, took her chances, and she did, and she perished. So that
Right.
was her choice.
Now, they blame a certain person in particular. A guy named Nevon Dejun.
Fucking D&D names,
I know,
man.
right?
Yeah, right.
Now, he has a brother named Larch. Larch.
I'm down with Larch. I'll remember Larch all fucking night long,
Right.
man.
Alright. So let's get back to the celebration. You guys are going about your business. Today's festivity at the Saj Estates has been quite peaceful, with only a disorderly drunk and an unskilled pickpocket occasionally occurring a stir. That's why it's surprising that the loudest and most violent confrontation did not involve revelers, but was instead a melee between 2 servants.
Oh, shit.
One
Okay.
of Mistress Saj's seamstress, a young woman called Binacy, surprised everyone by brutally attacking a stable hand called Larch, who was later escorted home by the city watch, bruised in body and ego. As your shift ends, you are approached by a man whose crooked staff and brooch identifies him as a member of the Cloaks. The organization